Buenas tardes, estudiantes. Bienvenidos a clase. As you know, we are making our way into Unit 4, and we need to start practicing our literacy skills in Spanish. That is why today we are going to be working with a short story. So, let's take a quick glance. Here we have 3 paragraphs. Let's start off with the title. So here we have Viaje a Sevilla. Now, viaje was one of our vocab words in Unit 2, and we know it means trip. We then have a Sevilla. And we know that Sevilla is a city in Spain. So the title means Trip to Sevilla, and we can go ahead and assume that the story will be about a trip to Spain. It can possibly expect a description of a trip to Sevilla or what to do on a trip to Sevilla. So let's go ahead and read the story to find out. So let's look at the first sentence here. It reads, Soy Iván, estudiante de bachillerato en un instituto de Madrid. Okay. We know soy is the first person of the verb said, which means to be, and we have Iván, the name, so we know here this is an introduction. Now, the rest of the sentence is okay, but this word right here is a little difficult to understand. But let's take a look at it. Let's go ahead and look at what's around it. We have estudiante, which is student, instituto, which is institute, a form of school, and then we have Madrid, which is the capital of Spain. Now, this is all talking about him being a student in a school. So, the word bachillerato is very close to bachelor's. So we can assume that he is stating he is an undergraduate student, a bachelor student. So let's go ahead and move on. Hace una semana estuve de viaje en Sevilla con unos amigos. Teníamos muchas ganas de ir porque nos gusta mucho el sur de España. La gente es muy amable y hospitalaria. Okay. So, in these sentences we can understand that Ivan was in Sevilla a week ago, una semana, con unos amigos, with some friends. And he really enjoyed the people. The vocabulary he uses to describe the people is a bit hard though. So let's take a look at it. Amable was one of our vocab words in Unit 1, and we know it means nice. But hospitalaria, never seen before. So let's break it down. The root word seems to be hospital, and that is the same to hospital in English. We then have the suffix aria, which usually describes a job or something someone does. If we put those clues together, we get that hospitalaria means hospitable. So he's saying the people are nice and hospitable. Okay, so let's continue. Sevilla es una de las ciudades más bonitas de España y de Europa. Sus monumentos más famosos son la Giralda, la Catedral y la Torre del Oro. La Giralda está situada junto a la Catedral. Es una torre muy alta y sus alrededores siempre están llenos de turistas que toman fotografías. Okay, so here there are a lot of names that I'm not familiar with, but they seem to be famous monuments in Sevilla, since here he mentions monumentos, which is very close to English, monuments, and the names here we know because they're capitalized. And then he mentions one of the monuments, la Giralda, está situada junto a la Catedral. Situada is very close to the word situated in English. So, he's talking about where this specific monument is situated. Junto a la Catedral. And Catedral, we know is cathedral. Okay. And then he goes on describing la Giralda, which is very tall, and there's a lot of tourists. Okay, so let's continue. El río Guadalquivir atraviesa la ciudad. Hay excursiones guiadas en barco durante 1 hora. Oof, okay, that was tough. So, let's go ahead and read that again. El río Guadalquivir atraviesa la ciudad. Hay excursiones guiadas en barco durante 1 hora. So this word is very unfamiliar. Guadalquivir. But since it's capitalized, we know it's probably the name of El Río, the lake. Or the river, I'm sorry. Then, hay excursiones guiadas. So these two words are kind of difficult. But, let's look at the clues that we have. So, he's talking about a river going through the city. He talks about a boat, barco, for an hour. Okay. So, let's look at the words. Excursiones guiadas. Excursiones, that's very close to English, so we know this is excursions. And then guiadas. What word? It's kind of similar in English. Guide, guided, right? So, we can guess that he's talking about an hour guided boat, right? Through the river. Okay, now, let's go ahead and continue. Desde el barco vimos una hermosa panorámica de la Torre del Oro. También pasamos por debajo de enormes puentes. Para mí, el puente más hermoso de Sevilla es el puente de Triana, que se llama así porque está en el barrio del mismo nombre. Se trata de un barrio donde proceden muchos artistas sevillanos, sobre todo cantantes de flamenco y folclore español. Okay, so we can kind of get a picture here that there's a boat going under a beautiful bridge, since he mentions here puente, which we know is bridge, going debajo, under, and he mentions it's very beautiful, hermoso, and he talks about singers, cantantes, y flamenco y folklore. So maybe people dancing and singing. Now, we know that the bridge that he thought was most beautiful was the bridge of Triana. Now, we know that that name is based off of the neighborhood, el barrio, that has the same name. Okay, so here we know he's on a boat, right? And he's looking at all the beautiful bridges and the singers and dancers. Okay, so let's move on. Las chicas son muy guapas y simpáticas. Conocimos a las 3 chicas en la calle Sierpes, una de las calles más animadas de la ciudad. Por la noche fuimos con ellas a la discoteca a bailar. A mí me gustó especialmente Carmen. Ella me dejó su número de teléfono y hablamos a menudo. Estoy deseando volver a Sevilla. Okay, so I've met 3 ladies on one of the most animated streets in the city. 3 ladies, and animated. Now he says that he wants to dance to a discoteca, but this word is weird. So let's take a look at it. Now, let's look at the root word, disco. Okay, and then we have the suffix teca. Now, we know teca means a place where certain activities are realized. So we put those two together, it's saying a disco place or a nightclub. Okay, and then he really liked Carmen, and they talked a menudo. Now, menudo means often. And we can go ahead and double check that with our dictionary. And then he says right here, estoy deseando volver a Sevilla. So he's wishing to go back. So overall, we have a story about Ivan and his trip to Sevilla, the things he did, the things he saw, and what he liked. Okay, so now you guys go ahead and reread the story and come up with questions so we can answer it tomorrow in class. Thank you so much. Have a good day, guys.